I was at Warner Brothers. They offered me a deal. I was actually on the road when they offered it to me. I was still kind of doing road work. I had hooked up with some people from Carnegie Mellon, and they were doing a fundraiser with Jerry Lewis, and Jerry Lewis used to do these packaged deals where he'd bring his whole show in for, I don't know what the number was, $30,000 or whatever, and then you just filled in the blank of your charity, and he would like talk about your charity. So I used to stage manage those with Jerry and those guys. Did a couple of those. And I was in a hotel in Pittsburgh, actually, when my then agent called and told me Warner's had offered me this deal. And they told me the amount, and I said, that's not funny. I'm not living on much. And he goes, no, that's what they really offered, because it was a different time, and it was 10 times what I'd made a year ever doing it. So I took it. But I came in writing Moonlighting, which was sort of, my Moonlighting specs and the couple of little stories I'd sold. So I was sort of thought of as a lighter comedy writer, and was working with a man by the name of Scott Coffer, who's also a talented writer now, but was an executive at the time. And he was working on this, what was supposed to be a comedy called China Beach, about this funny kind of half hour of people in Da Nang, up and around in northern Vietnam, at a recreational area for troops, an R&R area. Well, the script came in, it wasn't too funny. And so Warner Brothers insisted that they put a couple of comedy writers on it to make it a little bit lighter, or to help them with the comedy elements in the middle of, mass mayhem. And so I came on as the comedy person. And John Young, who was doing it, I think, took me on a little reluctantly. And then I decided to prove myself by writing the most depressing China Beaches that were ever written, which I did promptly, and so then I kind of fit right in. I was actually much more comfortable in the dramatic area with this kind of notion of humanity and humor and the way in which we deal with it than kind of the straight up comedies. I'd done a couple of comedy pilots and written on another couple of comedy shows, staffs, before then. So I got lucky, and I'm very prepared to acknowledge it was luck. Bill Broyles and John Young had written this sort of beautiful pilot, cast it beautifully. Rod Holcomb directed it, who then went on I worked with and directed the ER pilot. And I kind of met everybody that I worked with for the next 25 years of my career in the first couple of weeks. I remember when they gave me the script, they said, at Warner's, they said, here's something for our literary society. Nobody's really going to watch it. And I was too young for the Vietnam War, but a lot of my friends' older brothers had served, and I had seen a lot of it and been very much kind of at that very impressionable age. So I connected with the people that we were talking to and interviewing. We did extensive research. John Young was and to this day was very supportive of me as a writer, and he's a novelist and really talented writer, and because he just wanted to mostly write the show and direct the show, I ended up doing a lot of the sort of producing of the show along with a number of other people, but the writer-producer stuff I ended up kind of organizing for him, because he really wasn't very interested, and he was happy to have me do it. It wasn't me usurping anything. And I got a ton of experience and got to be on a good show that was suddenly getting Emmy nominations, and met Lydia Woodward and Carol Flint and Fred Gerber and any number of other people that I've worked with over and over again over the years, Rod Holcomb, and so